Go unnoticed that Ross Barkley, very much in the headlines this morning, and there's a touch, is there not, of the Dele Allis about this. Is there any comparison here that should be made? Could be made, is right to be made. Ross Barkley leaves Chelsea by mutual consent. His contract terminated. Again, there was a heck of a lot of noise around Ross Barkley for a considerable period of time. He goes from Everton to Chelsea, much heralded move at the second attempt, incidentally.
Yeah, I think it's easier to compare, but when you actually look at the numbers, Dele Alli scored 18 goals in one season for Tottenham, and I think the most amount of goals that Ross Barkley scored in his whole career at Everton was 21. So I think the chalk and cheese when you talk about absolute talent.
I think it's all about the decline and the outcome, not necessarily the journey they've been on. I mean, look, I didn't see Barkley. I see two different things. I see Dele Alli as a show pony that's lost his way and doesn't seem to want to get it back and spends more time looking at himself in the mirror, or less time given the garb that he put on when he walked out on an Everton opening day. And I see Ross Barkley as just losing direction and not being able to get it back and not being able to feature in the plans and probably being the wrong type of player for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think that's
because I don't think he's as mobile as Chelsea would have liked him to be. Yeah.
I just don't think Ross Barkley's been good enough for Chelsea. I think with Dele Alli, it's completely different.
Good enough for Everton, but not good enough for Chelsea?
Possibly, yeah. We've seen it many times. You know, Zaha went to Manchester United too young.
Drinkwater into
Ryan
Chelsea.
Sessegnon
into Chelsea.
I mean, look, you look at
Parker into Chelsea.
You look at some. Kevin De Bruyne went to Chelsea. He weren't good enough when he was younger. He couldn't make it. Mo Salah, arguably two of the best players that play. It's timing.
It's an interesting one because what they've done is they've allowed him to become a free transfer, a free agent, which means that people can sign him post the window because he's not a contracted player anymore. So what's clearly happening is somewhere or another, they can't dislike him. Well, perhaps they do because they don't want to pay his wages and they don't think he's any use to them whatsoever.
Well, they would have paid him something anyway.
But they've also, if they freed him up, let him out as a free agent, there's a termination of the contract. Now, maybe there's a deal to be done, or maybe they're saying, we're not going to take a transfer fee on you, so we're going to let you get that in your salary.
Right, if you've got 200 grand a week for the next year guaranteed, why are you just going to walk away from that?
Because you're not going to be they're not going to be commanding a transfer fee for you, and that means that
you get 200 grand and you walk away for nothing anyway.
You're not going to, but they're not going to necessarily do that without a quid pro quo. What you're suggesting is that Peter Bristol's over there running for it's all Father Christmas time.
I think they would have offered him a deal to finish the contract.
Maybe they have. Maybe they've given him a small proportion and a contribution towards a 200 grand a week. But there's no. If they're going to pay him up, then they might as well keep him there.
No, they're not going to pay him up completely. There's a deal, but that's been done.
But Trevor, has he got himself to blame here? I mean, in an ideal world, he should be thinking about Qatar in November.
Well, he played 20-odd games for Villa last year. So it's not like he's down tools. He's been playing Premier League football. You know, there's a lot of players at Manchester City who were successful who didn't play 23 games and won the league. So let's put it into proportion. He's not down tools like Dele. I wouldn't say down tools, but he's not fell off a cliff like Dele Alli's with his career. He's just found out he's got to a big club. He's not quite good enough for that club to make an impact.
But
he's now a free agent.
He didn't make much of an impact at Villa either.
So
he did okay. He scored a few goals.
For a couple of games, and then he went off the boil again.
One wonders, Trevor, should Anthony Gordon be watching this space?
I think so. I think, if I was Frank Lampard, I'd be saying to Anthony, stay. We'll give you a new contract. Learn the trade, get that foundation of games under your belt for the next 2 or 3 years, and then go for proper money.
And if Thomas Tuchel's whispering in your ear saying, "Come, I'm going to play," you're going to get in starting lineup. You're going to stay at Everton.
Yeah.
But you've seen so many other players fail.